Hydraulic brake systems rely on brake fluid to transfer pressure from the brake pedal to the brake drums or discs. Most of the brake fluid is stored in the master cylinder. When the brake pedal is applied, it exerts pressure on the master cylinder, which, in turn, forces fluid through all the brake lines. The pressure moves pistons located in the brake assembly at each wheel. The piston pushes a brake pad outwards so that it rubs against the inside of the brake drum. Or, if the bus has disc brakes, the piston is located in a caliper, which applies pressure to two pads that squeeze on each side of the disc rotor.
This may sound like a silly question, but can hydraulic brakes fail?
Yes, if the hydraulic fluid leaks or escapes, then it can't apply the pressure to the drums or discs to stop the bus. For this reason, there are two separate systems, one for the front brakes and one for the rear brakes. That way, if one system fails, you'll still be able to stop. In the unlikely event that both fail, you would have to use the emergency brake to stop. You'll perform 3 tests to make sure your hydraulic brakes are working properly: the leak test, the emergency or parking brake test, and the service brake test. Remember, it's extremely important to have your emergency or parking brake working properly so the bus is stable when parked or in the event of an emergency. To perform the leak test for hydraulic brake systems, first set the parking brake. Start the engine and pump the brake pedal 3 times, then hold down firmly for 5 seconds. The brake pedal should feel hard and not move any further. If the pedal depresses more, there's a leak and the brake fluid is leaking from the system. If no leaks are present, perform the emergency brake test by putting the bus in gear. The bus should not move. Some states require the RPMs to be brought up to between 1,000 and 1,500 or operating speed to ensure the brakes hold. Your trainer will give you those details. Finally, you have to perform the service brake test for hydraulic brakes. This can be done just before you leave the yard. This is the brake you use most often, so if this brake didn't work, you'd really be in trouble. Make sure you perform the service brake test in the bus yard before you have any students on board. Simply make 2 normal stops at 5 miles per hour. The brakes should stop the bus smoothly without pulling to the right or left. Making sure the braking systems on your school bus are in proper working order is vital for safety. Perform these tests every day during your pre-trip inspection. If your vehicle fails either of these tests, or if you have any doubt about the safety of the hydraulic brake system on your school bus, notify your supervisor at once. A bus with bad brakes should be taken out of service immediately. It's simply not worth the risk to drive a vehicle that may be unsafe.
Is there such a thing as getting a feel for the brakes when they're working properly?
Absolutely. If you drive the same bus every day, you'll develop a feel for how quickly the bus slows down, whether it pulls left or right, and if there's any brake noise. If any of these change or you suspect a problem, bring it to the attention of maintenance so they can find out why and get it fixed.